today's topic is AutoCAD, okay? That's a software name, but it's a representative software in 2D-based vector CAD. So when we are using CAD, especially in Korea, we use AutoCAD. But anyway, actually, we can say today's topic is precision drafting by CAD software. And we're going to use representative Autodesk AutoCAD, okay? Let's take a look at our schedule again. This week, according to the reorganized schedule because of the holiday, we're going to deal with AutoCAD drafting this week, okay? Design and computing issues. As you know, as scheduled, next week we're going to have midterm exam, 1 hour among 4-hour class, okay? So midterm exam, you need to prepare all the course material, including today's lecture, okay? So I like to show you what to do today. Actually, not that many things to do. The first one is lab exercise number 0, the one from the last week, SketchUp rendering issues. That's easy. Lab exercise number 1, AutoCAD drafting for making Mondrian's work. That's famous artwork. Your first AutoCAD drawing. And then we're going to move on to lab exercise number 2. It's going to be really time consuming and taking time because doing AutoCAD is much convenient and efficient than doing by hand. But the problem is anyway, it's still drawing, still drafting, not especially at this time, it's not 3D, it's 2D. So this is the 5th floor of this building where you are here. So this floor plan generation is the lab exercise 2. Until next week, not next week lab exercise. Before the class begins next week, you have to submit this one. But today, you have to submit the file under the progress file, okay? I'm going to tell you details about this, what to do, how to do. The final version should be submitted next week. So this is kind of first and the last homework, okay? Because doing CAD, doing AutoCAD, even by computers, certain type of tedious work, very time consuming. So you are very novice users of AutoCAD. So it takes time. But this is a kind of iterative practice required for doing well in especially drafting. So anyway, let's move on. News. Revit, 3D Max, AutoCAD, or Autodesk software, version 2015 released, okay? They are under the folder 504-main. Okay. On the shared folder, you may find out apps, and there are 3 files, Max, Revit, AutoCAD. If you need to install at home on your computer, you can download those files. You don't need to download at home. But actually, you can download the file on the student.autodesk.com. What you need to get from that website is your student account, student key, serial number, and the keys for your student activation, okay? But anyway, we're going to use 2014 version. No need to upgrade right now. A little bit more about the final project. I described final project description again. And here I attached some examples, total 15. Number 1, Canova. Number 2, 하인 선생, through something same to the one that your senior students got last year. Number 15, Vervier. This is a new one. All from a professional architectural, interior architecture design magazine, BOB, okay? So you can download enlarged images and PDF files in my folder today, as well as the final project website. Please open your course website, not 한양인 website, I mean Google site, Intro DDB 2014. In this web page, as a review, let me show you this one again. On the course data, you can find out final project description and sample exam file, and course syllabus and lecture slides, including today's, and also final project description page. You can find out this page. Take a look at this page. On the final project description, you may find out total 15 examples. Okay, if you want to get this image, simply click it, and then you're going to open high resolution image, okay? So based on this picture and illustrations, floor plans, descriptions, also additional images, what you need to do is simply Google it, designer name and the hotel Belville, so that you can download additional files, possibly some floor plans and some additional geometric data for this design, and so on, okay? And you're gonna develop your final project. You are not designer for this hotel, but let's assume that if you pick this work, you have an obligation to present this design at the final presentation, okay? What you have to do for this, all described in here. And here I list up some examples. If you click one of them, you may find out some examples. Let's take a look at one example. Okay, the Academy of the Jewish Museum. Some style image shot and 3D view and 3D modeling using SketchUp and so on, and some conceptual approach for diagonal lines, and AutoCAD floor plan also generated and added. So make them 3D components and some visualizations, and rendering image, render by V-Ray, another render scene, and some additional images, styles, and so on. You can take a look at those examples that I uploaded, okay? And next one is final project Google site example. Okay, let's take a look at the website. In this website, the student described what he or she did for this final project. Okay, let's take a look at digital design presentation. This is kind of final, and final project page shows you amount of resources, even YouTube upload video file, the animation generated by SketchUp. This is the model that had been created by this student. If you click sub-pages named 2D process, you can take a look at how to generate this floor plan, how to pick up the specific location of this kind of large-scale floor plan. If you click 3D process, okay, import into SketchUp, make them 3D, make some arrays, and some sweeping function to generate additional geometry, so that you can make this kind of geometry, okay? So total final rendered image, geometric modeling, and some compositional layouts, and so on. Data reference, there are several more images. And final presentation will show you some specific type of presentation image. Also uploaded into Prezi.com. And visualization, there are several different type of different lens depths and render scene, Photoshop edited rendering, and so on, including animation. So this is kind of very good example for your final work, okay? You are in charge of making something like this website. And also final presentation video loaded as 2 examples. I'm going to show you some more and some detailed presentation video and some more websites and so on. Anyway, you can take a look at those examples for your final project development. You have to make your own website and place your website in this page, okay? Final project 2014. Before end of this semester, before your final presentation, okay? Okay. Here I'm going to tell you what you have to do. In this page, final project description, simply click edit page. You can edit this. And if you determined that, okay, I'm going to do this one, Hyundai. If so, put your name here like this and save it, okay? But before doing this, you have to take a look at those pictures and some examples and so on. You don't need to worry about which one is your work. Ji-hee-song is now editing this one, so you don't need to do that right now, okay? Cancel it. Song Ji-hee, cancel the edit. Cancel the edit. 송지희 어디 있어? Okay. Okay. Until next week, you have to pick up at least one, but actually 1 or 2 students per one work. Okay. First come, first reserve, but actually you don't need to worry about which one is fit to you, because nothing is that so easy or even very hard to do. And if you pick up very easy case, my expectation level bar getting higher than some others, okay? If you pick up something, some challengeable thing, and if you spend some more time for doing something very nice design presentation for the final, I think I can evaluate whatever you did for your final project. I gave you amount of examples, existing one and pre-defined sort of final presentation material, examples, video, even video files, and so on. So refer to them. You can try your best for your final project presentation. Actually, from next week, in the lab exercise hours, we're going to develop this final project with you. You can ask me, you can work together, but anyway, this is individual project. So some of the lab exercise hours going to be your final project development hours from next week, next after next week, and so on until the end of this semester. Okay, let's get back to the course material and take a look at today's lecture topic, CAD as a drawing tool. Actually, we have experienced already using some of 3D Max and SketchUp last week. You know how to model 3D object using surface-based modeler named SketchUp. But today's topic is 2D drafting, not 3D modeling or something. 2D drafting is still very important in industry because that is kind of long-lasting industry standard, okay? Even if our computing environment, design computing environment quickly changed into 3D-based modeling and visualization, anyway, 2D-based representation is still very important. That's why we are dealing with CAD. But it's time consuming. It's not that easy to understand. We're going to take a look at including some review files as well as some new things about 2D drafting in terms of architectural design. 2D drafting versus 3D modeling. This is typical representation of 3D object in 2D plan views. Okay? Elevation, front view, top view for that 3D object. When we use 3D surface-based modeler, like SketchUp, we can make them all in 3D object directly. No need to draw 2D drawings. 2D drawings can be derived from that 3D object. Solid model, same. But 2D drafting versus 3D modeling, even if entire 2D drafting set can be extracted from 3D model, capturing some visualizations from the model, rendering animations, including those kind of plans. Anyway, they are still important because 2D drafting still one type of industry standard. So we need to take a look at and need to learn this kind of drafting. As we reviewed before, front view, top view, left view, right view, even bottom view, this kind of typical representation is kind of easiest way and powerful way for making real-world 3D object. That is why we got walked through this kind of historic issues in CAD history and some relationship between computer software. So this is, we reviewed this one before. We handled the SketchUp and some outlook about 3D Max, but now we're going to deal with AutoCAD, okay, as a 2D vector drawing and drafting software. But actually, some advanced features, advanced modelers software available. Next time, we're going to deal with that, including Autodesk Revit. Modeling your computational model is my kind of declaration when we get into this course. Computational model required for representing your idea, your design idea, okay? So usually nowadays we use 3D models, including 3D Max, SketchUp, even AutoCAD 3D model, Revit model, BIM model, and so on. But today's topic is 2D-based plan representation, okay? In other words, today's your universe of discourse is on 2D vector graphics, not PowerPoint-based drawing, AutoCAD-based industry standard-oriented 2D drafting. We got learned some design modes, 3 different modes, mode of thought, mode of expression. In the definition of mode of expression, design is also a way of making some visual equivalence, exploiting a medium's unique quality. Let's take a look at exploiting a medium's unique quality. What is unique quality of AutoCAD? What is unique quality of SketchUp? SketchUp's unique quality is, simply say, ease of use, okay? You can push-pull, you can easily make some 3D object. You can make something very intuitively create 3D object without any specific problems. What is unique quality of AutoCAD? Precision drawing, precision drafting, okay? Okay, we have talked about unique quality of medium. The medium here today is AutoCAD. AutoCAD unique quality is precision drafting. You can design, you can draw plans, lines very precisely, okay? You're going to learn today how to do, what to do. Anyway, still on the mode of expression. So, what is traditional communication? Why we have to deal with 2D plans? You have your design idea. Whatever it is, it's not visible except you because it's still in your head. No one knows. If you make some abstraction, the process of abstract, you have to make something visible. They are conventionally plans, especially in 2D, by hand, okay? So this kind of sketch, bubble diagram, or some 3D perspective sketch, very representative. Take a look at this one. Plans, elevations, top view, front view, east section, elevation, drafting by hand, 1893, more than 100 years ago. Very typical type of section, front view, side elevation, floor plan, external isometric, and really, really representative design representation in 2D floor plan. So how to draw such visualization? Commonly use CAD software, so-called 2D CAD, AutoCAD. Here I list up some comparison between architectural design versus construction. Actually, not comparison. I would like to bring your attention about some history of architectural design. Left one, Vitruvian Man by Leonardo da Vinci. This is very famous picture. This picture represents some human scale of some architectural space or product design, some certain type of industrial design related things. This is a drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, but basic concept derived from the book, the 10 books of architecture written by Vitruvius. Okay, that is why the name of this picture is Vitruvian Man. This is Vitruvius, also known as the first architect. It's controversial, but anyway, he's more than 2,000 years ago, very long time ago. He declared that and discussed the value inherent in using plans, floor plans, elevations, and perspectives to convey architectural design intent. Okay, even 2,000 years ago, architect named Vitruvius discussed plans. That is why architectural designers, more than several thousand of years, they are drawing, making plans, elevations, and so on for building design. And another one, in the age of Renaissance, Leon Battista Alberti, he distinguished architectural design from construction by proposing that the essence of design lay in the thought processes associated with conveying lines on paper. Conveying lines on paper, which means drawings, plans, okay? His goal was to differentiate the intellectual task of design from the craft of construction. Intellectual task of design versus craft of construction. We are in this domain, intellectual task of design, mostly represented by 2D-based drafting, okay, line-based drawing. So this is the book by Leon Battista Alberti, translated in English, okay, just for your information. Next one is another famous phrase around 100 years ago, modernism architecture. Actually, the phrase form follows function is kind of very famous in architectural design history, coined by Louis Sullivan. In his article, The 12th Office Building, artistically considered in 1896. 1896, referring to Vitruvius' book, okay, 2,000 years ago. Actually, the phrase form follows function depicts the main concept of modern architecture, which doesn't have any decorative features, only functional features. That is why our building, our recently constructed buildings have totally box shape, okay? Very simplified one. Actually, no curves in this type of building, okay, in general. So even if we developed computers around 60 years ago, and in 30 years ago, in architectural design industry, adapted 2D CAD system so that we can draw by computers, not by hand. But the problem is, entire this history, more than 2,000 years, they are all same, just for hand drafting, for this one, okay? This is hand drafting for architectural design, thousands of years. But even by computers, we use CAD software, just exactly same work, but using computers, not by pencil, not by pen. But actually, nowadays, we invented totally different approach, 3D, BIM. But that's not the topic for today. Today's topic, this semester's, this class, as an introductory course of design computing, the topic is 2D CAD, okay? Also known as computer-aided architectural design, computer-aided drafting and design. Drafting is one major part, okay? So in this history, thanks to Alberti and Vitruvius, there is a job, domain, architectural design, interior architectural design, separate from construction. But even 2,000 years ago, plans, elevations, perspectives in 2D visualization is very typical and kind of legacy in our domain, architectural design domain, okay? That is why we are dealing with CAD system. Okay, let's get into some specific things in AutoCAD, not general theoretical background part. Let's take a look at AutoCAD system. This is AutoCAD 2013 version cover, and this is interface, Windows. When we are dealing with computer software in GUI, you know, menu, icons, toolbars, and tapped icons, ribbon interface. The same as those general thing. We are typing, clicking, dragging and dropping, keystroking. This is very simple and intuitive interface, interaction between computer software and you, so that you can create your own plans. We reviewed this one before, command line interface, GUI, NUI. We are mostly using NUI, your smartphone, tablet computers, and amount of GUI-based computer software. But I told you before, AutoCAD has some command line interface. Today, lab exercise hours, we're gonna learn how to interact with AutoCAD using command, okay? But this is not only one way to communicate with AutoCAD. GUI, amount of buttons, icons, also available. In other words, there are at least 2 or more ways to do something, to draw something by AutoCAD. For efficiency and precision, we have to type 1,000 if you want to draw 1,000 length line, okay? That is why we have to use command line interface. You are not good at using command line interface, maybe. But anyway, for precision drawing, we have to know how to interact with that. Basics, installation. We already got installed AutoCAD in this computer room. Execute the application. Windows basic interface has a ribbon interface. If you save the file extension gonna be DWG, which means drawing. You have to control the units, menus, customization. Screen navigation, we actually experienced before when we got learned through some Autodesk without experience, something like that course. User interface, Cartesian coordinate system, which has only X and Y axis in 2D. But actually, there is Z axis too. But default is 2D mode. If you rotate the canvas, you may find out there is Z axis. Actually, AutoCAD is 3D software, not 2D, okay? But mostly, and some conventionally, we use 2D drafting. Another very important interface here is command line. Take a look at this bottom line. There is command. If you type something, the keystroke will be displayed in this area, command line. Enter key is enter key, but in AutoCAD, spacebar also working like enter key. Same, okay? How to CAD in AutoCAD? I mean, how to draw by using AutoCAD? Very intuitive and easy. Let's take a look at how to CAD in AutoCAD. The first thing, do something from nothing, okay? Draw or create object from scratch, from nothing. Those are command or some geometric shape. If you want to draw polyline, just type polyline. But thankfully, there is some shortcuts. Just type PL. If you type line, and then it's ready to draw some lines. But just simply type L or C for circle and so on. If you draw rectangle, type rectangle or just rect. That's enough. And then you can create something. Draw something from nothing. And next one is do something on the existing object for modifying it. If you draw lines and how to move it, how to rotate it, select it, type it, move, rotate, mirror, array, fillet, trim, and so on. If you want to trim something, just TR, and so on. There are some conventions, some shortcuts, hotkeys. Erase, select, and keystroke erase or type erase. And there are some more utilities. The third one, for better and efficient drawing, modifying, viewing, and so on. Snap, OSnap, object snapping function. We're going to take a look at this one. And orthogonal drawing. If you turn on orthogonal drawing, there is no way to draw some diagonal lines, only orthogonal lines, 90 degree, okay? Very useful. Undo, redo. If you type undo or Control Z, same. And some more for printing and some copy and paste and so on. Basic CAD interface. Clicking menu, clicking icon, typing command. At least 3, 2 or more. First one, clicking menu, using pull down menu. If you draw some line, simply click icon or menu. Draw line, that's it. If you roll over your mouse on line, active menu will show you. This is kind of animation, will guide you how to draw lines. But usually we use this one because it's very precise and very fast. Type keyboard on the command prompt. This is GUI, but today we're going to use some CLI, command line interface. In command line, just type L or line. That's it. If you type L, command line will ask you what to do. If you type L and enter, command line will ask you what is start point. If you click start point, and command line will ask you specify end point. something like that, okay? Interactive interface. So how to draw in AutoCAD? Firstly, begin command. Secondly, perform the command, and at the end, you should submit kind of termination. You have to terminate that command. Okay, if you type line, polyline, spline, circle, arc, ellipse, whatever, and then AutoCAD will ask you, what is start point, what is radius, what is angle, what is distance, and so on. And then if you finish up, just simply type another enter or space bar or ESC, sometimes auto-terminated, okay? This is very, very intuitive and kind of fundamental interface of AutoCAD. We're going to deal with this one detail by using actual commands in lab exercise hours today. Okay, we're going to deal with some remained part quickly after the break. Okay. Okay, let's quickly review the rest of the part about AutoCAD, commands and utilities in AutoCAD, and some precision drawing issues. First, very important concept when we are dealing with AutoCAD is layer. Okay. Grouping the relevant object, and you can turn on and off. You can lock and lock out, or just activate it, and so on. The concept of layer we already experienced when we are dealing with some Photoshop 2D-based drawing. This is the hierarchy of the layer. Title layer, index layer, text layer, images, and so on. The final version of the specific 2D-based representation is here. If this is AutoCAD, what are possible layers? Let's take a look at this one. CN usually means some type of center lines. Center line for what? Center lines for words, okay? Words center line. Col usually means some columns, some dimension, and hatches, and text. And word is here, and some Korean layer name also available. Take a look at this one. Layer name, you can create new layers, and you should activate current layer. This is current layer, okay? If you activate wall layer and draw something, everything gonna be drawn on top of wall layer. So you can turn them on and off by clicking this one. Turn on and off. Freeze, lock, or not using this one. You can assign colors of your lines on top of that layer, which means all center lines layer in red color, and words in green color, something like that, okay? 4 items you have to take a look at when we are dealing with layers. Whenever you get started from AutoCAD drawing, you have to open this layer window and try to make some layers. How to open this one? How to open this one? You have learned command line interface. Type layer, enter, and then this one gonna be popping up, okay? Or simply clicking, finding layer and turn on it. Or clicking layer icon. 3 ways. But command line, easier, faster. Also basic commands I listed up here. Utilities. If you type ortho, you can turn on and off orthogonal drawing mode. If you type OSnap, you can control snapping. We're gonna deal with this one by one detail in lab exercise hours today. Undo or redo, you can type them or simply Control Z, Control Y as always, or type layer. Also drawing commands, object modification, some general shortcuts, hotkeys are here. So why we use AutoCAD? Actually, when we are dealing with AutoCAD, you have to know not only how to draw using AutoCAD, but actually even more important thing is here, what are represented in given AutoCAD plans, what you have to do, how to draw, that's the big issue. That means you have to know industry standard symbols in CAD plans. Not just CAD plans, hand drawing plans also same, industry standard. Which symbol means doors? What is this? How to read the symbol? How to read industry standard in floor plan? That's very important. And another very important thing is knowing human scale, knowing architectural scale, okay? For example, if you draw wall which has thickness 50 centimeter, 500 millimeter, that's very unusual. In real world, there is very few or almost no such thickness walls, okay? In general, exterior wall has 300 millimeter, interior structural walls 200 millimeters, or 15 centimeter wall thickness for partitioning walls, something like that, okay? You have to know human scale, including architectural proportional scale. Vitruvian Man, the man drawn by Leonardo da Vinci, defines human scale. So when you are drawing something by using AutoCAD, you have to know the concept of scale, dimension, okay? This is one of the typical representation of 2D-based floor plan, which contains a bunch of some material and texture field, even by 3D, because actually this one generated by 3D object, and top view will show you some certain type of floor plan. But actually in this kind of plan, you may find out there are a bunch of dimensions. This is why we need to use CAD plans. In this plan, we can easily and quickly realize that, okay, the depth of this bathroom is 2,200 millimeter. Very straightforward. You have to know dimension first before drawing, okay? When you are drawing 2D plans. Even if this kind of very simplified so-called one-room office tile, this one has very precisely represented numbers, okay? The depth of the width of this entire plan, depth of the space gonna be 4.2 meter, and so on. And take a look at the proportional scale. The size of this table is kind of human scale. If you draw a very small size table or too big table, it's not going to be suitable for this kind of space. Anyway, bed size and this kind of closet size, closet depths, and table, chairs, and this kind of toilet size, they are all kind of industry standard. You have to know how to measure the size of this sink bowl or some floor patterns and so on. They supposed to be architectural scale within human scale, okay? That's my point here. When you are dealing with some AutoCAD plans, when you draw something, take a look at what kind of components are in there. Firstly, you can draw exterior, interior walls, considering thickness, okay? I told you 300 for exterior wall, and usually 200 millimeter wall thickness for generic concrete walls. I told you there is no 600 millimeter thickness walls, okay? That's very important. Facility symbols. You may know, okay, this is kind of toilet and some sink bowl, closet, and some door, object, and so on. Also, you can put text by using AutoCAD. There are different type of lines, dashed lines, solid lines, and so on. How to change that? How to put that kind of line for what? Figuring out that is one big challenge when you are dealing with this kind of plans, okay? Various style of text and size and additional data. Hatch means this kind of pattern. Sometimes solid hatch means just black color, red color. You can choose some specific type of hatches, such as flow pattern or some walls, fill, and so on. We need to move into the lab exercise. Before doing that, let me show you what we have to draw. Today's lab exercise until next week. This is our building's 5th floor. This is the place where we are. One big note, you don't need to draw everything. This is kind of professionally generated floor plan for remodeling of this building. This is the entire version, which contains every subcomponent, including the frame. I loaded this image file and PDF file. You can zoom in and take a look at numbers, dimension, okay? But you don't need to put everything. What you need to do is determine your own LOD, level of detail, okay? You don't need to put every subcomponent's detail or something like that. But at least you have to draw walls, interior walls, columns, doors, some stairwell, and so on. No need to draw or place some additional features, such as this kind of things. Or you can simplify exterior walls shape, okay? You don't need to draw everything one by one. You can simplify this floor plan. Totally up to your decision, okay? Which means that you can determine your own LOD, level of detail. This is highest level of detail floor plan for actual remodel of this building last year, okay? You don't need to put frame or this kind of title legend or some technical notes. Just focusing on this kind of architectural elements, exterior walls, interior walls, doors, and so on. You can simplify, but you have to draw precisely according to actual dimension, okay? Which means the length between those two areas is 7.2 meters, something like that. You have to follow that dimension, proportion. That's very important thing, because what is today's topic? Precision drafting. When you are drawing this kind of thing using PowerPoint at that time, some proportional thing is important. You don't need to put actual 7.2 meters for this length. But this is 2D vector drawing for precision drawing. That means your line for this one must be 7.2 meters, okay? That's why we are using AutoCAD. Okay, let's move on to the lab exercise.